You know, when we talk about what makes someone attractive, our minds usually jump to the surface stuff, right? Looks, charm, the right words. But what if I told you the real magnetic pull that some people have? It comes from somewhere much, much deeper. We're about to break down what makes a person truly irresistible. And spoiler alert, it has way less to do with seduction and everything to do with mastering yourself. Body language expert Linda Clemens kicks us off with this. Wow, what a line, right? Now, this isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about presence. It's about an energy that's so powerful, so deeply confident, that it can literally be felt across a crowded room. So the big question is, where does that energy even come from? And that is the heart of what we're exploring today. Let's just completely reframe this whole idea. What if attraction isn't something you do to other people, but something that just naturally radiates from who you are? Think of it as a side effect, a byproduct of getting your own inner world completely in order. Okay, so where do we even start? Well, that true magnetism, that real pull, it isn't an act you put on. It radiates from a solid inner foundation, and it all begins with how you define this powerful idea for yourself. Linda Clemens gives us this fantastic little acronym to work with, T.A.P. She says being sexy is about being truthful, being authentic, and being the living proof of that authenticity in the world. I mean, think about that. When you know yourself and you truly love yourself on that level, confidence isn't something you have to fake. It just overflows. So how do we get that rock-solid confidence? It's tied directly to your purpose. See, a job, that's what gets you paid, but your purpose, that's what you are made for. And when you are all in on what you are made for, this incredible, unstoppable desire just emerges. And that brings us to a really key distinction. We hear the word passion thrown around all the time, but let's be real, passion can fade. It's a fire that can die down. Desire in this sense is totally different. It's this deep-rooted, unshakable drive that's connected to your purpose. It's the thing that gets you out of bed in the morning. It's not just something you do, it's part of who you are. And that kind of energy is incredibly magnetic. So what's the ultimate proof of this authenticity? Well, according to Dr. Mindy Pelz, it's about trusting the incredible intelligence of your own body. Our bodies have this amazing innate ability to heal and guide us if we just learn to listen and get out of their way. Real self-belief isn't just a mental trick. It's a deep cellular trust that your body is on your team. That creates an inner security that nothing can shake. All right, so we've laid the groundwork, that internal foundation of authentic confidence that comes from purpose and self-trust. Now, how does that actually show up in the real world? Let's get into how we communicate all this without even saying a word. It really starts with the eyes. In a professional setting, people talk about the pyramid gaze, looking from the eyes up to the forehead. It signals that you're serious, you're focused. But to actually build a connection, to create that magnetic pull, you soften your gaze. You take in the person's whole face. It's a tiny shift, but it moves the whole interaction from transactional to relational. Linda Clemens actually breaks this down into a super simple 4-step technique. First, open. Keep your body language open. Don't cross your arms or close off your core. Second, eye. You make eye contact, you gently look away, and then you come back. It's not a stare down. Third, lean. You lean in just a bit to show, hey, I'm here, I'm interested in you. And finally, beam. You let that inner fire, that purpose, radiate through a real, genuine smile. But it's not just your body. Your voice is a huge piece of this puzzle. According to the foundational research by Dr. Albert Mehrabian, get this, a massive 38% of our communication has nothing to do with our words. It's our tonality. How you say something is often just as important as what you say. And this illustrates the point perfectly with a technique called the wet voice. Just listen to the difference. In a normal voice, I could say, I love the air that you breathe. Okay, nice, right? Now listen to this. With a slightly lower register, a bit more breath, a slower pace. I love the air that you breathe. See that? The words are identical, but the feeling, the impact is a world apart. It's about using your voice to convey warmth and presence, and it works no matter who you are. So these interpersonal skills are incredibly powerful tools, but true mastery means understanding the bigger context they fit into. Because as people become more and more successful, they tend to run into these very specific psychological challenges. And knowing what these traps are is key to keeping not just your success, but that inner magnetism going for the long haul. High-performance coach Rich Lippman points out 3 common traps that can totally derail you. First, the isolation trap. You feel alone at the top. But the hard truth? If you're the most interesting person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Then there's the imposter trap, that little voice saying you're a fraud and you're about to be found out. But here's the twist. That feeling is actually a good sign. It means you're pushing your limits. And finally, the emptiness trap. You get everything you ever wanted, and you feel nothing. And the reason is so simple. You were chasing things you didn't really need in the first place. So what is the antidote to all these traps? How do you dodge the pitfalls that come with success and hold on to that authentic core we've been talking about? Well, the answer lies in connecting your ambition to something way, way bigger than yourself. There's this incredibly powerful tool for this called the 5 whys exercise. You start with any goal, and you just ask why 5 times. Each time you ask, you peel back another layer. You go from the surface level reason down to a functional benefit, then a personal feeling, until finally you hit the core, that fundamental emotional driver that will fuel you through absolutely anything. You know, sometimes this kind of alignment is forced on us. Take Dario Suti's story. It's an intense example. The man lost a $100 million empire. He survived a violent home invasion and a heart attack. I mean, he was forced to look at everything. And lying there in that hospital bed, he realized what actually mattered wasn't the money. It was his values, his legacy, his kids. That crisis became the new foundation for his entire life and his purpose. And this quote from Rich Litvin just brings it all home. The kind of mastery we're talking about, whether it's in attraction, in business, in life, it's not about trying to avoid failure. Come on, successful people fail constantly. It's about avoiding mediocrity. It's about having the courage to step into those rooms where you feel like an imposter, all because you're chasing a purpose that truly, deeply matters to you. So here's the bottom line. That appeal, that charisma, that magnetic quality we see in some people, it's rarely just skin deep. It's the physical proof of a deep inner alignment. It's their authentic self shining through. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. When you walk into a room, what deeper